Okay, so details of your map that you've got. And then this is something that we're going to look at, National Grid Prefix. So all maps have grid references or numbers on them. It's a bit like coordinates. So if we look, we'll find some of those. So you've got some, they're not all over on every line, but on these blue grid lines, you'll find some going across. So like coordinates, we've got them going across. So this one says it's 36, so that square is all 36. Square 36 across. But how many is it up? So we need to find some vertical numbers. So we've got some here on this line here. So 11, 12, 13, 14, etc. going up. So where were we? 36 is over there. 36, and how many up is this one? 36 along, and it's, and the one's going up, and there we go, 21, so that's 20. So it was, this box here was 36 along, 20 up, so it's 36, 20, just like coordinates. That's a four figure grid reference. We're going to learn how to do an extra 2 figures, so we can find out a space within this square, a smaller square than just the whole thing, because that's a big area there. So we're going to just shrink it down to find a smaller area, maybe about that size, like that. So you can pinpoint exact features within a square, and that's a common 6-figure grid reference is what we would use to find a certain point on a map with orienteering, that sort of thing, or just navigation like we're doing now. Okay, but we were talking about the letters. So on your map, you will find, if you look in the corners somewhere or further up, 2 big letters. There we go. So corner of the map, we can see there that that's NY. So that means that this map is prefixed NY, or this area of the map, because actually there are points where maps actually turn from one area into another. But if I go down to the bottom, this map on this whole sheet is all NY. Look in the corners, it's all NY. So that's nice and easy. So my grid references would always be prefixed with NY if I was using this map for me. So put my NY in there. Okay, magnetic variation. Don't worry about that, sounds complicated, but actually it's 0 now, so you don't have to worry about any magnetic variation. You used to have to take off 5 degrees, 3 degrees, 2 degrees, etc. when you were taking compass bearings. But actually that's it changes ever so slightly every single year, it's always changing. And it now sits at about 0, so you don't have to actually change anything with your compass if you were taking bearings. Not that we're doing bearings today, so you can just either ignore that or just pop a 0 in there because there's no variation needed. So yeah, planned start time as well. So let's say that you were going to be walking at 9 o'clock, pop 0900 in there, or 10, etc. Okay, so legs. Oh, there we go. So we've got our point. So write down where you are, what exact point, grid reference, height, bearing, we're not doing those, so you can ignore the bearings. Distance we will do, height gain we'll have a go at, and how long we think it's going to take us, and that's each leg. It's too much, far too much, to try and look at whole route, the one that I was showing you before, so we'll just find that again. All around here, and back down, to actually try and do that in one go and say, oh, actually we're going to do this length. 12.4 kilometres, it's going to take us 6 hours, I'm going to climb 1,215 metres. You can't do that, it's too much. So that's why we break it down into legs. Okay, so we're going to do that using our little route card here. So let's do one for the first bit. So we were, so I'll try and hold it as steady as possible. Starting in Patterdale, we're going to go up this little yellow road here, and access the mountain on this path here. It's quite steep, it's going uphill. So we're crossing those little contour lines, the brown wiggly lines. Each one is 10 meters up. So we're going to add on 1 minute for every one of those we go up. Now, I could do my first leg. I think I might do it probably from, let's say we're starting there at the main road, on this small road up there. That might be our first leg to get to, there's actually a tiny dotted line there, the path does go there, to get to this path off the road. That might be the first one. So I might do that, put a grid reference in there, and how long will it take us? Okay, well, in terms of how long it is, we need to measure it. So, from there to there, what we could do is we could use a piece of string. Sometimes people like to use a piece of string, or you could use a compass and use the edge of the compass, which has little measurements on. But each one of these, there we go, each one of these boxes is 1 kilometre long, so 1,000 metres. So if you break it down, let's try and find one that's nice and clear. Maybe across here. So from there to there is 1,000 metres, so each tenth of that is 100 metres, 100, 200, 300, etc. So half a box, 500 metres, a quarter of a box, 250 metres. So let's do this nice and roughly. So from the road, the main road there to that point there is, I reckon, about 500 metres, something like that. 5, maybe 6, call it 600 metres. Okay, so actually, no, it doesn't have to be exact. For the maths, I'm going to make it nice and easy for this one, for everyone, and you can do the same. Let's call it 500 metres. So we said that 3k an hour is going to be 20 minutes for a k, and that's half a k, so that's 10 minutes up there. But is it uphill? I can see, looking closely, that we would cross 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 contour lines. So that means we need to add 5 minutes on to the walking time. So we said 10 minutes walking time plus 5, 15 minutes. Okay, so our first leg, let's put 15 in there. Distance, we said, was 5, trying to do this, looking at the page and the screen at the same time, 500 metres. Height gain, we said it was 5 contour lines, didn't we? So that's 50 metres, because each contour line is 10. Don't worry about the bearing. Height. We can have a go at the height. Don't worry, I'm not bothered about you getting this exact. It's quite hard sometimes to find the height on a contour line on the map. You can see that these points here do have heights on them, but then if you're looking along and you were on that point there along this path, it doesn't tell you exactly on every contour line what height it is, so you have to use the thicker index contours and come along and find. So for example, that's a 441 there, and you would come along and see what it is at that point on the path, or vice versa. So looking to where we are here, what height is this? Trying to find one. That's a 150 there. So I've got an index contour, there's 149, 150. So we're starting about 150. So that should be, if it's gone over 5 contour lines, should be about 200 metres there. So height, 200 metres. And then let's put a grid reference in as well. So the location would be, what's that? Path, isn't it? First path, road, path, junction. So I can write in shorthand. Right, grid reference. Let's find it again. So it's that point there. Okay, so we need to find our numbers going across. So let's just mark that so I know where it is. It's there, the edge of my pen lid. Okay, so I need some numbers going across. So I've got some here. So it's on the 38. Yeah, so 38 one going across. So all of this is 38. And I can see I've got some vertical grid reference numbers there. So it's 38 across and it's 15 up, because those numbers are going up there. So this whole box is 3815. So now what I need to do is make that into a 6-figure grid reference. So 3815, 38 across, 15 up. But how far across 38 is it? Well, that's halfway. So that would be, if we split this into 10, 38, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that point there is about, I'd say, 6 across, maybe 7. I'm going to call it 6. So that would be 38 across and 6. So it's 38.6 or 386. So let's pop that down in here. Put a little comma there, 386. And let's find out how many up it is. Well, we know it's 15 up, don't we? So, where are our numbers up? 12, 13, 14, 15 up. So this is our 15 line. So 15 up, and it's quite close to the top, so it's going to be a higher number. So it's 15 up, but also in that box, so if that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to that line, that's 5, that's halfway. 6, 7, it's going to be 8, isn't it? So it's 15 and 8, or 1, 5, 8. So let's pop that in there. 1, 5, 8. Okay, notes. Do we need to put any notes in there? Anything of interest, what you might see, or might be that you say, like it says here, alternative route. It might be that, oh, the weather's coming in and you take a shorter route home, and that's where that option is. So you can put something in there if you want to. Okay, so that's taking your grid references. It's just like coordinates, across and up, along the corridor, up the stairs. Your numbers are there on your maps, the blue ones. They follow the blue grid lines, across and up. Once you've found out how many across it is on the big numbers, you just split your box down into 10. You don't have to be exact, just have a go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And how many long is it, the point you're looking at. And then the same for up. Okay guys, so that's your brief lesson on how to fill out a route card and take some grid references using an Ordnance Survey map. So have a go at making your route card and planning your day for your mountain route out. Okay, have a go.